Video games. When I was younger, every adult in my life told me what a waste of my time they were. Then I grew up, and now video games are my job, and the adults still haven't changed their minds. But the video game industry also exploded over these past few years. Here's a graph to make this video seem more professional. Look at how much money everyone is making. And what happens when people are making a lot of money? Bad things! Somehow always bad things. Video games started out as any other hobby does. A thing you do for fun, and no more than that. Arcades were really the only place to play them, and to make sure you spent all your pocket money on the machines, those games were categorically unfair. Whenever you hit a game over screen, you'd have to put another coin in the machine to try again. So these machines wanted you to lose. It was in their best interest to make these games as close to impossible as they could get away with. That's how we got stuck with Ghosts and Goblins. And that didn't change over much when we finally managed to get home consoles going. Those cartridges couldn't hold a whole lot of data, so once again, to stretch the playtime, it was in the developers' best interest to make their games hard, with copious amounts of "your princess is in another castle." But then personal computers appeared in regular households, and computers can hold a lot of data. Games became manageable, even casual in some cases. But the gamers still wanted to get the most bang for their buck. If you've read any of Steam's review sections in recent times, you've probably come across this type of review. The crowd that divides their money spent by the hours of gameplay available, like the world's most cynical bank tellers. A profession known for their cynicism. Probably. But sometimes a game just isn't very long. It can't be. Whatever story they wanted to tell or experience they wanted you to have only took 2 hours. That's not a lot of hours, those reviewers say. How can we have more hours? And that's where achievements come in. Achievements as they are now were introduced by Microsoft on the Xbox 360 in 2005. They came with Gamerscore, a neat little number stuck to your profile that allowed all of your friends to see what an absolute gamer you really are. It was such a massive success that other platforms quickly adopted the system. PlayStation 3 introduced trophies, Steam added them in 2007, and Nintendo told everyone to calm down. They have Zelda and Mario. They don't need achievements to compete. A number of people now don't feel like they've truly finished a game until they've also collected every single achievement possible. Or they feel like they can't say they truly love a game unless they also perfected the series. And it ruined everything.
When I was a little girl, one of my favorite games was Knights and Merchants. It's a strategy game where you attempt to thwart the rebel prince of a kingdom in ruins. It was ported to Steam in 2013, and so I recently booted up the game and enjoyed sending solo archers into the enemy camp to lure them out and stone them to death, using the outrageous amount of towers that lined my perimeter.
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
And then I made the mistake of looking at the game in my Steam library. It had no achievements. But that shouldn't matter. It's a game from 1998. Of course it doesn't have achievements. I didn't need them when I was younger. Why would I need them now? Can I really not enjoy this game without the dopamine injections that constitute an achievement pop-up?
And it turned out that no. I couldn't. I turned off the game. I didn't used to care about achievements in the least. I thought they were a ridiculous distraction at best, and the pop-up noise was annoying, but they didn't bother me to any particular degree. After all, they're optional. If I didn't want to engage with them, I really didn't have to. You can even turn the pop-up notification off completely if you don't want to be reminded they exist. And then, I became a content creator. In some form or fashion, I feel this is true for most any job these days, with the way capitalism reminds us of its existence every second of every day, but especially if you are self-employed, like me. To survive, I rely on the generosity of others. I rely on other people enjoying my work to such a degree that they choose to support me with monthly subscriptions on Ko-fi, Twitch, YouTube even. But people can only find me if I make new content. If I'm productive. If I post a new video, go live on Twitch, feed another short to the algorithm, and any moment that I don't do any of those things, anytime that I stop working, I feel like I'm shooting myself in the foot. For some reason, it has made games that don't reward me with tangible proof of my accomplishments feel like a waste of my time. I'm not being productive if I don't at least get some achievements out of it, something to show for my efforts. It's the cookie clicker phenomenon. We know it's pointless, no one actually cares how many meta grandmas are currently working in your cookie sweatshop, but it feels like you're being productive. Like you're accomplishing something, even during what's supposed to be your leisure time. A time where not accomplishing anything should be the goal. Look, billionaire overlords, on one screen I'm baking enough cookies to smother an eldritch god, but on the other I'm editing shorts for my Twitch stream. Are you proud of me yet? I'm so productive! But it keeps us playing, and clearly in some cases, if the achievements aren't even there, it can cause some of us to leave entirely. My life revolves around the internet these days. I work on the internet, my social contacts are on the internet, my supposed free time is spent on the internet. Now, whenever I'm too close to 100% achievement on a single game, I go out of my way to get the last ones. Even when the game asks me to do things I objectively do not want to do. Because I'm so close. I can't give up now. I am so close. Surely someone somewhere will be impressed by all of the platinum trophies in my imaginary trophy case.
I only have 32 perfect games on Steam, but those perfect games consist of a combined 1,337 achievements. It's the gamer number, so you know I'm a gamer. Some of those perfect games are entirely reasonable. The creators of Hades have gone on record to say that they specifically didn't want any of their game's achievements to be annoying or tedious in an effort to ensure players wouldn't sour themselves on the game. And they're not. Hades is perfect. All of the achievements are fun to complete, but that's not the case for all games. Nier Replicant is a game I enjoyed very much when I streamed it, and once I finished it, I decided to go back for the final few achievements. One of them demands that you upgrade 33 weapons to the maximum level. That is purely a grind and not a fun one. By the end, I never wanted to touch Replicant, this game I loved, ever again. An even worse example of this nonsense is a game called Rogue Tower. It's a tower defense game that's enjoyable enough on its own, for a while, but practically every single one of its achievements is the worst kind of achievement. And it has 140 of them. All variations of clear this map and now do it again multiple times over. I got every single achievement anyway because they were so attainable. Extremely boring, but attainable. I was annoyed and bored and productive. It had turned into an addiction. That's not even mentioning games with multiplayer achievements even though their servers have been offline for years. Games with achievements that just require you to accumulate nearly 200 hours of playtime, or games like Mercenary Kings that include achievements only unlockable if you've pledged to their Kickstarter campaign. Final Fantasy XIV has an achievement revolving around limited enemy spawns that, realistically, you'd need years of daily playing to complete. It's fine, it's not meant to be rushed. Years, Barbara! Years!
Other people have taken to Reddit to talk about this exact problem. They dabbled in achievements for some time, but now they see every single game they play as a checklist. Completing them feels like a chore, something to suffer through rather than enjoy. Some games they never even touch because they looked at the list of achievements first and realized they would never be able to complete some of them on account of sheer difficulty or broken functionality. Final Fantasy X is one of my favorite games of all time, and I'm 9 achievements away from 100% on Steam for the remaster, but every time I look at the game now, I just feel weird and vaguely exhausted. I don't want to do those achievements. They're not good achievements, but I guess that must mean I don't really love the game enough. Even though all of the achievements I'm missing are Final Fantasy X-2 related.
Monkey!
I would love to say that, rationally speaking, this is a me problem, and on some level it is. I have an addictive personality. That means I can't play gacha games, lest I lose both all of my time and my life savings in the span of a single week trying to pull my favorite waifu. This guy. On the other hand, the addiction is the point. The reason achievements were added in the first place is to tie you to the platform. I care a great deal less about my PlayStation trophies than I do my Steam achievements because I'm mainly a PC gamer. Sunk cost fallacy. I like when numbers go up, and it's easier to make that happen if I only invest what little time I have in one place. Companies know that too. The world now revolves around the attention economy. Whatever a business can do to keep your eyes glued to their segment of the internet, they will do. Video game companies can't use rage bait like social media does, so they have to target our feeble little dopamine receptors in other ways.
Hello, Jinzy.
Hello.
Did you enjoy that game?
I did. At the start.
But you got every single achievement in the game. Don't you feel accomplished?
Mostly relieved, actually.
Relieved?
This game has an insane amount of levels that all play more or less the same way, making the game feel vaguely exhausting about 2 hours in. But I still went for the platinum.
Now, why would you do such a thing?
I don't know.
Would you like to know?
Do you have an actual answer?
I have science. Would you like to hear science?
Sure, why not? Dopamine. Have you watched any social media bad videos lately? Then this probably came up. Yes, shiny achievements popping up gives you a hit of dopamine. Finishing the full list of achievements and getting an even shinier 100% complete badge, bigger hit of dopamine. The thing that makes your brain register that you're happy. What happens when you overload your dopamine receptors? Your brain adjusts for the situation by reducing the number of dopamine receptors available. It's a common addiction symptom, and one of the results of lowering your available dopamine receptors is a thing called anhedonia, a loss of pleasure in activities that were once enjoyed. I don't know about you, but I've heard people around me mention that they just don't enjoy games like they used to at regular intervals these days. I include myself in that. I am people around me. That's probably not just games. I imagine it's just the general state of the internet trying to grab a piece of us at every turn. Post more on social media so people give you likes. Scroll on TikTok for hours so you can find that one worthwhile video. A million cheap, shiny things you can buy because it's on trend for a singular week, if even that. Doesn't it feel good when the stuff box arrives at your door? Is it really any wonder that our dopamine receptors have shriveled up entirely by this point? As a society, we're knee-deep in anhedonia, because that's what makes line go up for companies. Hey! It's getting too existential too early in the video. Achievements aren't all bad. If you don't have the aforementioned addictive personality, they can let you know how many of any given thing you're missing in your in-game collections. Or even if you've missed some interesting side content that you otherwise might never have even thought to look for. It can introduce new and innovative ways to play the game, or tempt you to step outside of your usual preferred playstyle and use a big heavy weapon instead of a small fast weapon. Because there's an achievement to clobber 5 enemies, and you can't effectively clobber with a dagger, I think. And I'm sure if you are a responsible user who touches grass frequently, doesn't use social media, and goes to bed on time, your dopamine receptors might still be intact. In which case, finishing all the achievements will feel pretty fun and good. But companies like money. And while the rest of the world is gamifying their platforms to keep their users from going anywhere else for their dopamine boosts, games are already games. How do you gamify a game? Well, by adding achievements, but also...
Let's go gambling! Aw, dang it.
Just add gambling. Loot boxes, retention tricks like daily logins, deep sales in their in-game stores that only last 12 more hours, timed events. Every game wants to be a live service attraction now. They all want their game to be your only game forever, and then some. They all want to be GTA 5. So they can print money indefinitely while never having to create a new game ever again. Achievements, in the end, are only a symptom. Just another way to let people know we did stuff, alongside the high playtime numbers everyone likes to brag about. Anything and everything to get you the most invested in their game and no other game. The problem is, there's a limited number of people on this planet and they each have limited time and money. There are 24 hours in a day, 120 hours in 5 work days. So if I sleep for 40, waking up and getting ready to get to bed and so on is about 5. Speed for highlight edits, 7.5. Actually, editing those highlights, 5. Shorts editing, 3. Script work on stream days is 9. On video days, it's 18. Making and eating dinner, 5. Shower, 8 hours of time in my bed. It means I have, 1 hour a day of free time. Oh. I see. Is it only now that you've used your numbers to directly observe your schedule that you realize its unsustainability?
Yes.
Did you calculate for the inevitable stream overtime, toilet breaks, feeding the cats, keeping the house clean, groceries, possible collaborations with other streamers, technical difficulties, and so on and so forth?
No.
Is this why you have no discernible social life?
Yes, thank you. You can leave now. So I really can't be wasting my time with achievements I don't even care about. It's been 2 years since we bought this house. In that time, we've barely done half of what we set out to do once we'd moved. A lot of the walls aren't painted, the carpet that aggravates my allergies is still here, the furniture is largely parked haphazardly in whatever position it took when it entered the house, and we only have 2 lights. This one from the second-hand store, and this one from the furniture shop downtown, where items that should not be sold in a furniture store are stacked as high as the ceiling, and the old man who runs the place talks your ear off about vaults and cemeteries. I like that man a lot. The world, and capitalism mostly, tends to make you feel like if you stop feeding the machine for even a fraction of a second, everything will fall apart. And you know what? In some cases that might even be true, but people thrive on living through new and exciting experiences. And I'm not talking about the current state of the world, I'm talking about pleasant walks in the park, meeting a new cat who doesn't run away when you try to pet it, cute coffee dates with friends. To exist and be human, you need to take breaks. That's easier said than done. Unless you have a fairly broad safety net, it can be paralyzing to consider rocking the boat on whatever stability you manage to build for yourself. If you just keep going the way you have been, at least it can't get worse, right? Right. Until you run headfirst into a burnout. It's like spinning your wheels in a car. Yeah, you're looking pretty busy, but you're not going anywhere, and you're wearing down your tires to the rims. You can't tap from an empty well. Your stories will get dull, and your observations trite. And honestly, living in a half-empty, permanently under-construction home filled with junk can really drain your spirit. I still have to use ceiling lights. I hate ceiling lights. Purely on feeling, most people will mention that they think we all work more than we used to. They have less time for leisure than they ever did. According to the data, the opposite is true. We work less now. Here's another extremely professional graph, but it's important to look at how that data is collected. It's mostly through surveys, both self-reports and through employers. Self-reports are inherently unreliable to a point. We're not often the best judge of our own actions and time management. Employers will report within the boundary of legality, even if they sometimes cross those boundaries somewhat. Then they take the survey data and compare it using things like tax records. But of course, older work hour data is also less than comprehensive. And more importantly, our society has changed radically since the 1970s. What these types of reports fail to account for, not purposefully, it's just not part of the data, is the changes in social and professional expectations. In the 1970s, you showed up for work and then you did that work. Once you left work, your boss couldn't shoot you a text to let you know he'd need some more paperwork done over the weekend, and if you could just get right on that, that'd be great. Likewise, you weren't constantly available for friends and family either. Nowadays, your particularly clingy friend might throw a fit if you don't respond to their message within a 1-minute window.
Everyone wants a piece of you all the time. We have to make conscious decisions to untangle ourselves from the social framework we're a part of. Digital detoxes are popular now. Running into the woods without a cell phone. Reading a book by candlelight because, thank God, the power's out. Maybe the numbers are entirely spot on. We do work less, but we lose all of that time through added stressors. Even if it isn't a part of your job, like it is for me, people often still expect you to have some sort of social media presence. I know a number of people who still have to deal with Facebook in some fashion because their parents refuse to drop Messenger for a better alternative. Commuting sucks more now than ever, and if you have a hobby you're reasonably skilled at, people will inevitably tell you to turn it into a side hustle. We are so overloaded all of the time that once we get home from work, we're out of energy to spend on anything meaningful. And when you're exhausted, you're a much easier target for all of the tricks game companies use to lure you in and keep you tied down while they rifle through your pockets for change. As far as achievements go, like I said, they're just a symptom, but they serve to tire us out further if we're the target audience. So if you're like me and achievements are starting to steer the way you play games, here's what I did.
Hey there, buddy. Are you feeling burned out? Stress? Well, have I got a solution for you? Get a cat. Petting cats is shown to reduce stress and decrease anxiety. And they're so cute. Start baking. With an outrageous pile of baked goods in your hands, the voices in your head feel much quieter. Read more books. There's no such thing as too much knowledge on the topic of maiming your mortal enemies. Hey, that's a great book title. Maybe you should start writing. Master Demon Summoning. After all, two minds are better than one, and what a way to socialize! In times like these, it's good to stay busy, regardless of the horrors it might inflict on your direct surroundings. The screams are complimentary. Have they tried getting a cat?
I'm gonna go play Knights and Merchants. Hey, so I got a new camera, powered by the wonderful people that support me. That's why there's so many different angles. It's new toy syndrome. This video took 2 months instead of the usual video a month deal because I did the math on my schedule fairly early on and realized that was really bad and I should adjust things somewhat. This will probably be a thing going forward. I have a lot of plans and stuff I want to talk about at length, so stay tuned for that, just probably not monthly. Unlike my Twitch stream compilations that are very entertaining, I promise. You can also come hang out on Twitch directly if you want, twitch.tv/Jinzy. Thank you so much for watching until the end, and remember never to pre-order games. Fish for AAA games on a deep sale only, and respect the way of the emulator. See you around.